Hey, the Comet-Man here. We're back doing another ink short. I suppose the usual drawing and coloring. I'm going to be showing off the inking for this one. This is actually a first modern day redraw of one of my old fantasy stories. Or kind of main fantasy series. Not counting a bunch of fantasy short stories I used to draw. But yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen drawings of this character, Leah, in one of my old drawing posts. That's the first time I've said her name in a video. Yeah, it was a part of a story I dubbed Sentinel. It was the first overt fantasy thing that I tried to write. When I write things like chats, it may have some fantasy elements, but more or less it's a sci-fi thing, sci-fi adventure ordeal. This was my first attempt at something similar to Doctor Strange or Avatar. And this drawing ended up a little bit larger than I expected. Just got too in the zone there. Long way around to getting to the inking, especially considering I'm drawing rubble in this one too. So anyway, right, getting back to talking about the character as I'm drawing in the panels. I think I first ever drew this character when I was 16, 17 there. Just a little bit after my high school era of drawing superhero comics. Often there wasn't much of a deeper story outside of trying to make cool looking drawings. But this one I really straight up had an origin story written that I used to actually kind of liked back in the day for her and this knight dude. So the gist of the story was prologue. There was an ancient Armageddon / crisis, and the ancient order known as the Sentinel Order, yes, Sentinel as in Sentrinel, not to be mistaken with Sentinel, because I just thought it was cool. Same meaning though, whatever. So yeah, this ancient order, it was comprising of warriors from all around the world. So you'd have something like a Viking on it, a samurai, a Bantu warrior, a knight here, a Roman Spartan there. Yes, I know the historical timelining is off the wall, but yeah, they somehow sacrificed themselves to alleviate or stop the crisis, and before they assigned this younger newbie sentinel knight named Rook to essentially be time capsule frozen in their temple tomb base thing with all their knowledge in a mountain, and essentially wait out the crisis, and then he awakens again in 1,000 years or something to restart the Sentinel Order. Cut to 1,000 years later, it's now modern day as we know it. We have Leah, whose parents are giant net worth international corporates in business, tycoons with a huge empire and stuff, and Leah was never really interested in this business office life or any of the corporate life, and this begins to draw a wedge between her and her family. Her younger sister actually being a star child, golden child to them, Leah preferring the whole loner lifestyle, learning stuff like martial arts, doing physical sports like mountain climbing and whatnot, but she's more or less at a loss of a direction in her life. So one time after a fight with her family, she was off mountain climbing when the wire breaks, and luckily she plummets into a cavern in the mountain, which caves in behind her, trapping her in the mountain, and she wanders around for some time looking for a way out, and she stumbles upon old statues and shelves and old knowledge and books and whatnot, and weapons, large halls and labyrinths of knowledge and artifacts. Of course, this was none other than the ancient Sentinel Order tomb base. Yeah, quick second off, I really hate it when the ink smears like that between the top and the lower right panel there. Somebody please give me a tip or something on how to evade this happening. I've been waiting for it to dry before continuing with work, but it's all repetitive. Anyway, let me finish off. So Leah begins to feel her body and soul being drawn to something in the center of this cavern, which is where she finds a great big white light opening to the aurora flare. Now I can't really explain to you what the aurora flare really is further than just this convergence of life force and energy connected to the world. Don't think of it similarly to the Zeo crystal from Power Rangers, but mystic. Yeah, and it draws her in and imbues her with great strength and the connection to the arcane and mystic. Yeah, and this reawakening the base and reawakening Brooke, the knight now out of time, waking up in a new world, essentially gives her the expose on everything she's supposed to do and attempts to mentor her, but seeing as he was also a younger, still learning sentinel, he's
kind of trying to learn along the way as well. These two now begin the crusade against any forces of evil, as Brooke and Leah form a budding head friendship.
Attempts to learn more and more about her now ever-growing powers
and help Brooke in what is essentially this new world he doesn't understand, as he has a bunch of comedic fish out of water scenarios.
And Leah with now this newfound purpose. Her and Brooke protect the normal world against demons, maybe guard the flare from other evil sorcerers,
and maybe hints of a second returning Armageddon, of which they may need the Sentinels for once more.
Yeah, that's essentially the base gist of how this story would set off. I also just find there's just a weird duo where it's like the sorcerer mage is the tank and the paladin knight is the one playing support and knowledge. It's really nice seeing all these pieces of the story put together concisely in a video. Really nice, really nice. I definitely want to take my hand at this story again one day, but this time with actual studied mythology and historical timelines, because interestingly enough, history and mythology are something I've kind of gotten into more since I last wrote the story, particularly Egyptian, which is great because back when I used to draw superhero comics, I told myself Marvel has Norse mythology and DC has Greek mythology, so if I were to ever do my own comic universe, it would have Egyptian mythology. And once pondering this idea, I kind of had the idea to change Brooke's name to Beck, just randomly because it also starts with a B. Then I'm just researching and I look up the meaning of Beck, and it literally means Brooke. I didn't even know that. I just picked it randomly because it starts with the same letter. That freaking blew my mind when I found out. Crazy part is, back in 2021, I think it was, League of Legends had an event about the reawakening of an ancient order to fight darkness called the Sentinels of Light. And I made this story before, so that just sent me over the edge, going crazy about how cool is that. Anyway, I think I'm just about done with this inking. Like, subscribe, share, because that's the order you should do those things in. Insta's Comet-Man.comic. We're getting to draw the original versions of these characters again, and might be doing a video on them pretty soon. And that'll be it.